Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Player Zone YouTube channel. Welcome back to Premier League predictions for match week 16. A lot of very exciting games to come from this weekend's action. Obviously, the big one being the Manchester derby, City hosting United, two teams desperate for a victory. Obviously got a massive game towards the bottom as Wolves and Ipswich face off. Both teams needing a victory there as well in what could be Gary O'Neill's final game in charge as well. And can Liverpool get in the winner's circle once more against Fulham after not playing last week? And a lot of exciting games to come this weekend. Reflecting back to last week, had an okay week in terms of predictions. Obviously only the 9 games to go off. Added 6 points to our previous 96 total, so into 102 now for the season. So up to 3 digits, not too bad. Looking for another strong weekend this weekend. Probably an 8 or 9 pointer would be much appreciated, but a lot of hard games to predict. Let's get straight into it now with our match week 16 Premier League predictions. Our first game is at the Emirates as Arsenal host Everton. Obviously, Arsenal coming off that 1-1 draw versus Fulham, a disappointing result, but a much better performance. Full 90 minutes of attacking football, an XG of 2.3, I believe, in the end, and a lot of chance created. Declan Rice being pivotal, Martin Odegaard, one of his weaker games, but we can see once again, with Odegaard and Saka there, Arsenal are flowing a bit more in their attacking movements. The key thing for me, though, they've struggled to score from open play. Lacking goals from open play in the Premier League. Champions League football looked much better in the final third, but really lacking that ability to break apart a back line in the Premier League. A few half chances, a few gettable chances against Fulham, but they defended them quite well. Bukayo Saka was shut down mostly by Anthony Robinson, so you've got to look to other avenues in this game here to try and break down what will be a very resilient, very compact Everton back line. Looking at Trossard, Martinelli potentially, Gabriel Jesus, Havertz, whoever's playing alongside Saka and Odegaard up top have to contribute, have to at least stretch the back line, make those dangerous runs in behind, or potentially play the pass to set up those two informed players for the Arsenal front line there. Looking at Everton, obviously that week off without playing versus Liverpool. We look back 2 weeks, so 1-4-0 versus Wolves. I want to continue that goal-scoring form because that is the only 4 goals they've scored in the last 5 games. So it is clear that defensive football will be their identity yet again here against this game versus Arsenal. How long can they hold on before Arsenal eventually break through? Tarkowski alongside Branthwaite, Ashley Young will be so important, keeping nice and compact in that back line there, and looking to those sort of players in front of them to keep nice and compact, whether it be Decore, Idrissa Gana Gueye, just to protect off and lock off that back 4 there. It'll be a backs 8, many regards, a bank of 4, another bank of 4, not too far in front of them, and keeping Arsenal at arm's length. We know that they can be poor at times, trying to break down low blocks. Can Arsenal do it in this game here? That first goal will be massive. They won the last 3 games versus Everton. I'm backing them in here yet again. 2-0 Arsenal win. It's going to be difficult, but they'll get over the line in the end. We move to Anfield as Liverpool take on Fulham in our next game here. Obviously, Liverpool had that weekend off last weekend, but come for that 1-0 win midweek versus Girona. They want to continue that great form in this game here. They're a strong side at home. Only the 1 loss this season coming in on Nottingham Forest. And I think a quick start will be very important versus the Fulham side, who we saw last time out how they stayed in nice and deep versus Arsenal. So looking to that midfield to insert that energy. Ryan Gravenberch alongside Dominic Szoboszlai and like Alexis McAllister as well, and set the tempo, press up the pitch and insert that Liverpool intensity and tempo in their pressing style of football. Win the ball back quickly, keep Fulham pinned in on the back foot there, and good things will happen for Liverpool. Obviously, the front line will be important yet again. Mohamed Salah, can he single-handedly win another game of football like he did midweek? Or can supports like Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz contribute to what will be a very attacking display from this Liverpool side here? Looking at Fulham, again, another strong counter-attacking performance will be needed, similar to their 1-1 draw versus Arsenal. Yet again, though, Anthony Robinson will have to be central to the side. He was so tight and compact on Bukayo Saka on that right-hand channel there, and yet again will be so important, turning down Mohamed Salah. So he'll be important once more. And I think also going forward, Alex Iwobi created 5 big chances so far this season for Fulham. He's their highest chance creator. He'll be important setting up that counter-attacking football, which Fulham will want to play. Feed the ball through him, feed the ball through a Emile Smith-Rowe, and potentially Fulham could have some chance in the counter-attack. They need some good finishes like we saw last time out from Raul Jimenez to try and get at this Liverpool back line. We know how tight and how resilient they are at the back. They're still leading clean sheets in the Premier League, so a massive game will be required from those strikers up top of Fulham to be clinical on the break. With that being said, I'm backing in Liverpool here at home in front of front of the Cop and Anfield crowd. They want to continue their great run of form. I said I'm getting a 3-1 win in this game here. Fulham might get a goal, but Liverpool's attacking football will be too much for this Fulham side. We move all the way up north as Newcastle take on Leicester in our next game here. Obviously coming off that very, very disappointing 4-2 loss for Newcastle United. It's been really strange. They've been really good at home this season versus the big sides, but a struggle versus the mid-table, the lower side. So a really big game for them in this one here. And I feel like the back line was quite poor last time out. Dan Burn and Fabian Schär in particular, they'll want to bounce back and be much better in this game here. They haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 5 games in all competitions. And I keep reiterating, Newcastle's identity, when they're at their best, they fight, they scrap, they get clean sheets. So really important those two at the heart of the defence is locking it down, preventing Leicester City from getting that goal in the counter-attack and keeping it nice and compact like they have versus Arsenal, like they did versus Man City as well earlier this season. Looking at Leicester, they got a massive come from behind draw versus Brighton from 2-0 down to a 2-2 draw for the 87th minute onwards. So really late football. And again, they're not a great side, but Ruud van Nistelrooy is inserting that belief and that fighting spirit in this side here. And it'll be important yet again. Very average, I said it, through different periods of time, but you look to that compact shape to be their key in this game here. Travel compact, play a bit more progressive at home. And you look at that midfield there, looking like Ndidi, Oliver Skip to potentially protect that back four, which is very vulnerable at times. Be a compact and play as a 6. Be as a defensive 6 and an attacking 4 in many regards. So that 6 there with Skip and Ndidi protecting that back 4 will be so important to this game and the result for Leicester City here. Defend first, attack second for me. And with Jamie Vardy being in some great form in recent weeks, he'll be so pivotal on the counter-attack to try and score a goal and nick potentially a point or 3 points here at St James's Park. With that being said, with Isaac in some great form, Barnes and Gordon thriving up top, and the attacking football being the better side of Newcastle United, I see them getting over the line, but getting over the line just. Got a 2-1 win here. As I said, they do struggle versus mid-table to bottom table sides, but in the end, they'll get over the line on the back of those attacking footballers. We move to the Molineux for our next game as Wolves take on Ipswich in what is a massive relegation 6-pointer. Wolves coming off a really underwhelming 2-1 loss to West Ham and El Sacico. Gary O'Neill is still at the club though, and this could be his last chance. If he loses this game here, you expect him to be sacked. It is a must-win for this Wolves side who continue to be so poor defensively. 10 goals conceded in their last 3 games. It's 3 straight losses for the side. There is so much talent going forward, but a lack of continuity and structure defensively is very worrying to see. I feel like in this game here, with Ipswich lacking that real cutting edge and clinical edge in the final third, I'm looking to those midfielders to progress the ball forward for Wolves. For me, they were too negative. They were too pessimistic and pragmatic versus West Ham, and that doesn't help this Wolves side here. They need a bit of crash and bash, back and forth type football to look at their best going forward. There wasn't enough chance created. So looking at in this game here, Lamina and Andre in their deep line positions to create, to push the ball forward and progress Wolves on the front foot, and then obviously get the ball moving through the likes of Matthias Cunha and Strand Larsen. They've been one of the most dynamic front twos in the Premier League this season. Wolves look at their best when those two are firing up top, so look to those two to be heavily involved. Look at Ipswich, an equally disappointing performance, a 2-1 loss to Bournemouth, allowing them 2 goals late in that game to give away a massive 3 points. They're yet to win at home this season. They're struggling this season just to convert on good performances. It was a very solid first half, and I feel like, yet again, it's going to be really important they continue to perform throughout the 90 minutes. 45 minutes will not be good enough to beat this Wolves side. As bad as they've been in recent weeks, you'll need a full 90-minute performance. And I feel like the speed of movement in the final third will be key to that. And all in all, the front line is going to be the key defensively and going forward as well. Chaplin, Hutchinson, Smodics, press that Wolves back line like Bournemouth did a few weeks ago. It'll catch them out. They're vulnerable playing out from the back and vulnerable in possession. If these frontline players press that Wolves back line, win that ball back, and then are clinical when the ball gets to them in the box, that'll be so pivotal to Ipswich to getting all 3 points in this game here. Both sides are vulnerable defensively. Both sides have great attacking talent. Delap as well up top. He'll have to be clinical in the final third if Ipswich want to get all 3 points in this game here. Both teams have not won in the last 3. 3 losses for both sides coming to this game. Who do I see winning? I see Wolves getting the line here. Gary O'Neill does best when his back's against the wall. I think his team will go over the line. I'm going with a crazy 3-2 win. Both sides love to attack. They're not great in the final third. They're not great defensively. I think Wolves have enough talent to get over the line in this game here. Move to the City Ground as Nottingham Forest take on Aston Villa. Forest coming off that fantastic 3-2 win away at Old Trafford last time out. A really, really important performance. Another great win away from home. And they're going to continue that form at home as well. Make the City Ground a bit of a fortress. They're unbeaten in the last 3 games at home as well. It's a good chance here to continue a great run of form and continue to push up towards that top 6 there. And against a very normally tired Aston Villa side coming off the back of Champions League performances. Once again, Chris Wood will be pivotal. Another massive goal last time out. He seems to be just a goal magnet at this current point in time. So feed the ball to Chris Wood. Good things will happen for Nottingham Forest. And I feel like that midfield trio, Gibbs White in terms of creating things in that number 10 spot, but Elliot Anderson and Ryan Yates were so combative, so well into the challenges and made it an absolute scrap in midfield versus Manchester United. They'll be pivotal yet again to put pressure on this tired legs in this Aston Villa midfield. And if these two can get on top, potentially that could swing the game in Nottingham Forest direction and absolutely overrun this Aston Villa side. Looking at Villa, they'll come off a much-needed result, a 1-0 win versus Southampton, but it was far from convincing, and they'll need to be at their best to beat Nottingham Forest, especially on the road in this game here. Again, it's going to be a real struggle backing up from those Champions League nights. So looking to Kamara, Tielemans, McGinn, these energizers, these runners in the park to bring that energy, to bring that intensity, to match what Nottingham Forest will bring in midfield. Because if they get overrun in midfield, I cannot see this Aston Villa side beating this Nottingham Forest side. And a really, really important game from that back four. Be nice and compact against a very dangerous, high pace, high speed of ball movement Nottingham Forest side in the final third. With that being said, I think Nottingham Forest get the line here in this one. I've gone with a 2-1 Forest win. I think Aston Villa really, really struggled backing up from Champions League nights, and I can't see them beating the informed Nottingham Forest. Moving down to the South Coast as Brighton take on Crystal Palace, but it's a very hard to predict game in this one here. Brighton obviously came off the back of that really underwhelming performance, a 2-2 draw to Leicester City. Leicester had a lot of the ball. They had the game wrapped up, you thought, then 2 late goals to give away all 3 points there. And they've had some problems in recent games. No win in the last 3, no clean sheets in the last 8 games. So it's really important this game here. It's built up from defensive solidity. And you're going to find that balance between attack and defence because in recent weeks, Crystal Palace has built their game off that counter-attacking style of football, winning the ball back and catching teams out for committing too many numbers forward. So that balance will be really, really important. And I feel like in this game here, you're going to need much more improved performances from Karim Matoma, Jorginho Rutter and João Pedro, who were all quite average versus Leicester City side. And as such, it showed they couldn't put that game to bed earlier. They couldn't capitalise on some of their great attacking movements. If these 3 at their best, that's when Brighton look at their best. They start scoring goals in major clumps. So look to those 3 to improve their performances. And then massive roles for Purvis Estupiñán and also Lamptey at right back as well. Against a Crystal Palace side that loves to use the flanks, loves to use space in behind and sprinters and high-speed runners to get in behind backlines. These 2 fullbacks have to be really important, not only going forward, but defensively covering off for what will be a very, very attacking, counter-attacking, high-paced style of Crystal Palace football. Looking at Palace, they come off that very, very important 2-2 draw versus Man City. Again, built off counter-attacking style of football and built off this defensive solidity they've found in recent games here. 6 goals they've scored in the last 5 games, but it's brought 7 points. It's been built off the back of very, very solid defensive football, not conceding a large amount of goals, and building out from the back. And I feel like that's the key yet again. A massive performance from Hughes and Lerman the previous game versus Man City were pivotal to both their goals and not conceding too many going the other way as well. They'll be important yet again, winning that ball back, quickly transitioning the ball forward and allowing the likes of Eza, Mateta, and Sarr to thrive on the break and potentially get at a Brighton side that will commit numbers forward and potentially score a goal on the counter-attack. With that being said, I think Brighton have to bounce back in this game here to keep in touch with the top 6 there. So I see them getting a 2-0 win. It's going to be a tight, hard-fought game, but Brighton's quality will show in the end. We have the Manchester Derby as our next game here. It's the big one from the weekend as City hosts Manchester United. City coming off the back of that 2-2 draw to Crystal Palace last time out and a disappointing loss in Turin in the Champions League. They desperately need to bounce back. Only 1 win in the last 10 games in all competitions. So this bounce back that was supposed to be instant in my eyes is not going to happen. They are really struggling for form right now. And I feel like it's going to go back down to basics for me. You know, use your big players, make them stand up in a big game. So look to the midfield, an emphasis on Kovacic hopefully returning alongside Bernardo Silva, controlling the pace in midfield, putting pressure on this United side that doesn't like to play without the ball and looks very vulnerable defensively. If Kovacic, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, whoever's playing that deeper lying role, if they can get a hold of that midfield battle there, they can put pressure on United in possession, and then when they have the ball, keep the ball for long periods of time. It'll go a long way for Man City winning this game of football. That's got to be number one for them. Keep possession of the football, keep United penned in. And number two for them, Kevin De Bruyne and number 10 with Erling Haaland up top. Simple relationship. When City are at their best, when they have been at their best across the last 2.5 seasons, those two have been pivotal to the result. So get them involved, get them linking up in the final third. It's a vulnerable United back line that concedes goals in clumps, that makes a lot of mistakes. So get the ball likes of Kevin De Bruyne's feet, feed Erling Haaland, force feed him, because United are going to make mistakes. Onana's going to make mistakes in goal. That mistake, those two mistakes on the weekend from Andre Onana shows his vulnerability. For Man City, you've got to pepper the goalkeeper, get the ball into the feet of your good players, and good things will happen for them. It's pretty simple. That's the way you bounce back, in my eyes. Looking at United, it was a horrible loss 3-2 to Nottingham Forest last time at home. Mistake-riddled, poor performance, and just looked to shadow themselves. And that's what Ruben Amorim said. There's going to be problems, there's going to be teething problems in the eventual hope that they can come back to their best performances. For me, it's pretty simple, as it is for Man City. Shore up that midfield. Kobbie Mainoo, Casemiro, be more resilient, be more careful in the ball. United will like to keep possession under Ruben Amorim with this new five-at-the-back system, throwing those wing-backs forward. Those two central midfielders, the deep-line playmakers, are so important. Control the pace of the game, control possession, keep City at arm's length. Those two are so important defensively and in the ball with possession. And then, importantly, Dalot and Diallo are the only real threats going forward, it feels like, for Manchester United at this current point in time. Those wide wing backs pushing on, creating the width, creating the attacking football, the overlap, they're so important. So look to them to provide United attacking threat going forward. We saw the previous big game versus Arsenal. United had a lot of possession, but made no XG from open play. Diallo and Dalot will create the open play XG. They'll create the chances moving forward. So look to them to be pivotal for United in this game here. With that being said, City at home, the better players, the better manager in many regards. I see them edging it. It's going to be a real tough game. Both teams struggling to get wins at this current point in time, but City will do it for me. 2-1 win for them at home and getting their bragging rights over the arch rivals. We move to the bridge as Chelsea take on Brentford. Chelsea obviously coming off that chaotic 4-3 win versus Spurs last time out. They continue to be the best attacking team in the Premier League. 16 goals in the last 5 games, led by some great performances in midfield. Enzo Fernandez, 3 goals, 6 assists in his last 6 games in all competitions. Cole Palmer will be pivotal yet again with 11 big chances created, the second most in the Premier League. And look at those two midfielders there, being the two leaders of the box midfield. Caicedo and Lavia sitting deep, and those two pushing on to create the chance for Chelsea and get Chelsea on the front foot in this game here. Looking at Badiashile, Colwill and Cucurella to be much more solid defensively, very poor, especially in the first half versus Tottenham. They need to be much more solid defensively versus a very attacking Brentford side. They've scored 12 goals in the last 5 games in all competitions, led obviously by the 4-2 win last time out against Newcastle in the Premier League. They're awful away from home. They're only 1 point gained so far this season away from home. It's all been built on attacking football this season for Brentford, but looking to see if they've got a bit of a backbone defensive in this game here. Can the likes of Norgard, Yambaluk in midfield, can they be a bit more solid? Can the back three with Sander Berg and Collins, Pinnock at the back be a bit more compact and prevent Chelsea having their way in the final third? Brentford have had great luck and great fortunes in this game in recent years. Haven't been beaten in the last 5 games versus Chelsea. 3 wins and 2 draws. They will not get a result in this game here, though, I think. I think Chelsea continue their great form. They go home and continue to make Brentford suffer away from home in this one here. Going with a 4-1 Chelsea win as Chelsea continue to put their pressure on Liverpool at the top of the Premier League. Our penultimate game from the weekend is Southampton and Spurs, 2 teams that are riddled with defensive problems at this current point in time. Looking at the Saints, they come off a 1-0 loss versus Aston Villa last time out in the Premier League. Again, great possession, created the odd chance, but not enough attacking threat going forward. And I feel like against a very weakened Spurs backline, a vulnerable Spurs backline that is under pressure, you've got to commit numbers forward and you've got to just commit to playing some incisive movement, high speed of ball movement in the final third if you're Southampton. Get the ball force-fed through Matheus Fernandes and Tyler Dibbling like they did versus Liverpool, and good things will happen. Again, Spurs are missing the 2 best centre-backs, so go and attack them. Go and put them under pressure, and good things will happen for me. That's simply what I see for Southampton. If not, they have no chance in this game here because Spurs are a very, very attacking side. Yes, they come off that 4-3 loss to Chelsea, but that first half was fantastic. I think they'll continue yet again here. The likes of Son, Solanke, even Maddison coming to the side has been fantastic. Kulusevski creating for midfield areas. They're so good moving forward, averaging the 2.1 goals per game this season. But it's defensively where they're all at sea. Mistakes, conceding in clumps, and Basuma and Sarr have to be much better. And it starts in this game here against a possession-based Southampton side. They've got to be much more solid protecting that back four and keeping Spurs in control of games. I think for Spurs, this is a great chance if they start well, get a few goals ahead early on, game management. Show a different side of your game, show a slower pace and a more pragmatic style of football that they can actually defend and protect a lead, because that's been the problem for them this season. You know, the goals are there. Son's created 10 big chances per game. I think he'll be the difference maker in this one here. They scored 2.1 goals per game. They've got the attacking football down pat. But if Sarr and Basuma cannot protect that back four, which is vulnerable this season, Spurs will go nowhere. It's a massive game, this one here. I think they get their confidence back. And with a 4-2 Spurs win, it's going to be high intensity, it's going to be high energy, it's going to be goals galore, but Spurs will get over the line in this one here for me. Our final game for the weekend keeps us on the south coast as Bournemouth host West Ham. An informed Bournemouth side off the back of another come-from-behind victory, 2-1 versus Ipswich. It extends a winning streak to 3 games in a row now, and they continue to show their attacking football is their key for them. 10 goals in the last 5 games. It's all been led by the superb play of Antoine Semenyo and, importantly, Justin Kluivert as well, who's been so important in that number 10 role. And in this game here, I think it'll be really, really important, those wide plays. I think in this game, they can definitely get to the West Ham side, then that left-hand channel there. Milos Kerkez has been fantastic alongside Antoine Semenyo on the left. And then down the right as well. Some great attacking football from Smith when he's played. And Tavernier is due a big game as well. And I think the attacking football, the width that Bournemouth will play with, will be the difference in this game here versus a very out-of-touch West Ham side. Great to see also last time out, Ilya Zarbani back at his best, an 8.2 match rating, alongside a growing in confidence Hodgson. And those two at the back make one of the best young centre-back partnerships in world football and in the Premier League in particular. Yeah, Andoni Iraola's side is built off high energy, high intensity football, and at home I think they can get the better of West Ham in this game here, who obviously come off the back of a 2-1 win versus Wolves, a much needed win for Lopetegui, a much needed win for West Ham, and all of a sudden looks a bit better in the league, 14th in the league. A win changes a lot for this side here. They've got to continue that run of form though. I feel like it's all going to be built off those attacking players. Bowen central up top has been fantastic. He's the key of this side here. 6 big chance created, the most big chance created for West Ham. He'll be pivotal yet again. But Kudus and Somerville on the flanks were so, so important. They created the flair and the spark in the final third and kept West Ham on the front foot and penned Wolves in many regards there. And equally so will be that midfield duo of Alvarez and Souček. They were good versus Wolves, but Bournemouth is a different level, different kettle of fish. Cook and Christie are energizer bunnies. They are so high energy, so high pressing. They are what Bournemouth is built on. So if Souček and Alvarez cannot handle those two in midfield, they cannot deal with them defensively and going forward attacking-wise, I can't see West Ham having any avenue into this game here. Bournemouth's energy, Bournemouth's intensity, their attacking talent, I think will be the difference maker in this game here. They're so good at home, this Bournemouth side, and I see them getting a 2-1 win in this game here. Despite West Ham not losing to Bournemouth in the last 5 games, just 3 wins and 2 draws for West Ham in the last 5 games versus Bournemouth, I see Bournemouth changing the trend in this one here. As I said, got a Bournemouth 2-1 win, West Ham back to the losing streak, I feel like, for them. There you go, ladies and gents. That wraps up my Premier League predictions for Match Week 16. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Who are the big games? Who are the big game players? And who's going to be the difference makers come this weekend? And what are your thoughts on my predictions? Leave them in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please make sure to smash a like on it. Subscribe to the Players Zone channel for more videos like these. And press that post notification bell so you know we upload here on the channel. With that being said, I hope you have a great rest of the day. Enjoy the upcoming weekend Premier League action. And I'll see you guys in the video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.